Guys, today is going to be my college running back season, and I committed to Texas A&M. So, as you can see, I am a freaking backup, so I can be the starter if I work hard enough. So, I'm also a kick returner, so let's get right into it. We're going to use Colorado Buffalo.
He's already juking down 2 players and could be sophomore wide receiver take this to the house. It is unfortunate he got caught, but he is such a weapon that we can use in any situation. And right now, we're doing so well on the ground, so it doesn't even make sense to try to pass against them. But we're going to have to mix it in anyway, so they can't predict what we're doing. And there we go, another 10. Now we're down on first and goal, where Justin Stevenson's going to come underneath for the catch. And I was staring him down there. This one's kept by Josh Hartman, but all of a sudden it's third and goal, and there's no way that they're going to stop it. We're going to run that back and see if he can finish it off. And he finally got some good blocks. So we are in full control of this matchup versus Iowa. And starting the season this well versus a team that's ranked as high as them should be a good sign of what is going to come. That is another interception. It is Michael Hill that got it. He is a senior. He's a JUCO cornerback. And Iowa's offense has no chance of scoring on us. I did not expect our defense to play this well. Because like I said, there's 6 new faces on it. But right now it looks even better than our offensive unit. And on first and 10, they are going with the pass because they cannot run the ball on us where they're about to take a sack. Senior Brad Jones was on the end of that one, who we just moved over from defensive end to defensive tackle during the offseason, but they're going to get the first. And they finally completed their first pass, so I guess congratulations to Iowa, but you're still not doing much against us. I truthfully can't think of a better way we could have started this season. And there's still like a quarter and a half left of football, which means we still have a lot of time to give up points to the Hawkeyes. I really wanted to hold them scoreless, but I don't think it's going to be possible after that last catch. And we'll see if we give up a touchdown or not. They got down the goal line on us, and how on earth did he slip out of there? That should have been a sack, but I guess it's all good because now it's third and goal where they get in, but they also have to go for the 2-point conversion to still have a chance, and our defense is clamped up, so they're not going to count that as a catch, even though it looks like he was probably in bounds. Zach Wilson comes away with this kick return, and if he gets one block, he is gone. Zach Wilson is one of the best players in school history, and that 98-yard return just put us back up by 4 possessions. Evidently, our young defense needs more time to
we're going to stop Colorado.
Stop them again, and this pass is going to be completed.
Josh Jones going to be blitzed, and he's going to roll out and get tackled the last one.
Passes, so maybe we're not clamping
Josh Jones going to be looking deep. He throws it to whatever Ashton, whatever.
And their quarterback's just padding his stats at this point. Now he is above 50% completion percentage.
Oh my God.
Wilson's going to take off where we're going to try and bring him down. Setting up a third and inches where they're just going to hand it off and Williams doesn't get it. That was a great tackle from Brandon Sanders, but unfortunately he took a touchdown. And I wasn't even thinking they're going for the onside kick, but we only had 2 players there. Kyle Patrick's still going to pick this ball up, and is he going to get a return out of this? Our middle linebacker. I think that's going to wrap this one up, but we still have to make sure that we can run out the rest of the clock against them. And Zach Wilson casually throwing 2 guys off of him isn't going unnoticed. It is 3rd and 6 though, so we need to make sure that we pick this up with Josh Hartman and he gets stopped. Setting up a 4th and 3 where I'm just looking to end the game. We're going to pitch it, and Jeff Shelby could make it to the marker. I thought he was going to dive there, but he just gave himself up. And you know that it's over when I was not even calling timeouts. So it wasn't our best performance offensively, but we're going to go into the Michigan game undefeated, and this pass over the top is going to be picked off. All Pat Smith had to do was loft that ball way above the defense, but he didn't. So we have given Iowa a little bit of life.
They still don't score. They hand it off to Nick Hill.
Except we were able to force it out.
He runs through the middle, makes 2 guys miss.
And let's just
he gets one more guy and gets tackled for 27.
I am very surprised with how terrible our offense was, though. That does scare me a little bit because we
Josh
didn't
Jones
lose that many
looking
key
deep,
faces, only a few offensive
cut
linemen, and then
by
Dante Moss at wide receiver, but maybe he was a good distraction. Here on 3rd and 6 with 36 seconds left, they just go with the halfback draw, and you would assume that it'd be over at this point considering they have to score 3 times, but we could have just handed it off instead of trying to run up the score, and we're giving up another big game. Originally, the refs didn't even give it to them, but it was obvious that he made the catch in bounds, and my faith in our defense is starting to lessen. They've given up more and more points as this game's gone on, but we'll be able to see how good they really are next week versus Michigan and the man coverage didn't stick. 1st and 10 where they're just running it now. I was not thinking they'd run with this little time remaining, but I really want to prevent them from reaching the end zone, and that's what we're going to do.
Josh Jones going to be looking deep.
Win versus a top 10
throws
team.
it up.
Josh Hartman won player of the game, mainly because Pat Smith didn't do much, but he didn't have to because we ran the ball well, and even though the passing game wasn't good, Zach Wilson made up for it with a big
balls
return for
on
a
the
touchdown.
50.
And our win
Nick
week
Hill.
brought us up to the number 4 spot in the country. These first
Josh
games
Jones
against
gonna be
these Big
looking
Ten
short.
opponents are so important
Rich
because in
nobody.
order to prepare us for the playoffs,
Wall
we need to
out.
have some quality
And
results.
just
But we
tackle
also
for 5
still have
yards.
to get there in the first place, and Josh Hartman is still on top. As for recruiting, we have a lead on all
Booking
of these guys, but the top 3
Josh
on our
Jones
board
gonna
we are
wall
going to have
out
to compete
one.
with some of these other schools for. And I really want
And
defensive
get
end
tackle for
Jason
8
Taylor,
yards.
but Penn State does too. So the 5-star is going to be hard to bring in, and we are traveling on the
Oh,
road to
he's
the
gonna
Big
be
House,
looking
where
deep,
we've
throws
beaten our
up.
in-state rivals Michigan in
And
2
it's
of the
caught.
last 3
And
matchups.
he's
But
running
they're
to
one
the
of the highest
outside
overall
and
teams in the
died.
nation
Scored a
within 90 games, so
touchdown.
we're going to have to play well. And here on 1st and 10, we're starting it off with a run to Pat Smith, who looks really quick. Normally, you do not see our quarterback taking off like that to open things up. Now Josh Hartman keeps this one, and we're going to continue to go through our 2 star players. So we should probably pass on 3rd and 3, where Pat Smith is going to step up, run around, and this should go for a first down. Look at those legs. I did not want to risk the Wolverines potentially getting us off the field, but freshman running back Jay Atkins went nowhere, and I probably wouldn't have run it if I knew he was
Score
going to be in the game. But Pat Smith is going to juke out that defender, break 1 tackle, and now fumble the ball to
Gonna
Michigan.
catch it
I
on
did
the
not
4.
see that coming there, and they picked it up. Oh my gosh,
See
they're
ya.
going to take this back to the house. We're
Oh
not
my
even
gosh.
going to be able to
Pull
knock
up.
them out of
Oh.
bounds, and maybe I should have slid with Pat Smith there, but he's like a running back. Once he broke that first tackle, I had no control. He wanted to keep going,
Well,
and what a play from that defensive end in a contain. He did not want us to get the ball to
And
Zach
I get
Wilson.
tackled
Jeff
for
Shelby's going
the
nowhere,
one.
so we need
And
to wake
whoever
up
gets
because it
tackled
is
for-
already 3rd and 10, and that is going to Mark Adams.
oh my
It's been
gosh,
spotted as a
Joe.
4th and inches though, and I've come out in the punt
Josh
formation, but I want to
Smith,
be aggressive. We're going to burn one
Jones
of our
gets
3
tackled.
timeouts and trust that Josh
Jones
Hartman can pick
throws
this
it
up,
up,
which he's
and
able to do. But I just
tried to
noticed
dive and
something
catch
very
by
concerned. Freshman
whoever
quarterback
his name
John
is.
Davis is in
Who
the game
don't get
instead of
any
Pat
blocks,
Smith, and I know
and-
he can run, so we're going to keep it. But why is he out there right now? I hope our
I might have
Heisman
it
winning
used to.
quarterback isn't injured for a long time. That would be very
Load
concerning.
up.
And I didn't mean to call a wildcat pass because that was
Oh my
always going
gosh,
to be bad.
caught,
But in the
caught,
process of
zoom
it,
it,
we did get
zoom
an
it.
update on Pat Smith, and we're going to be stuck with John
Zoom
Davis for
it.
the rest of the day. He bruised his sternum, so he's out for the rest of the game, and that's not a good sign, especially since the freshman quarterback wears gloves. So he's probably not going to be great at throwing the ball, and this man coverage just clamped everything up, so we had to run with him. 3rd and 7, it's man-to-man coverage, so Pat Walters is going to get open with that route, and I think we should probably follow it up with a quarterback blast. He is telling everybody that he's running straight up the middle, and this is going for like 2 yards. It is crucial that we are able to finish this one off, and Josh Hartman reaches the end zone. So at least for now, we're all tied up at 7, but we have yet to see the Wolverines
Josh
offense, and they have
Jones rolled
been
out.
98 overall at quarterback,
Sees it
so I'm not going to lie,
diving.
Maurice Thomas scares me,
Come
but
on,
he's
I see
just
him.
been handing it off as of recently, and come on, boys, bring this guy down. He's going to our 45. I mean, we all know that the Wolverines are
That's
probably
him.
going to be title contenders just like us this season, so this matchup's going to be very difficult, and I'm so annoyed that we're not going to have Pat Smith for it because I want to see how good we are. We forced the fumble, but their lineman picks it up, and he just carried them to get a first down there on 1st and 10. They're getting a few more, but it wasn't that much,
Well,
and
could
we're
be
just going
going
to shoot that
against
gap where we're
Kansas.
stopping the run. All right,
We
it
get
is
ball
3rd and
first.
10 now. We have some zones over there. They're not going to get the first, and I love that we
Give
can
me a
lean
good
on our
return.
defense.
Come on.
Forcing Michigan to just settle for 3 is a
Ooh,
massive deal, and I
yep.
just realized that we always deal with a backup quarterback in some of our biggest games. Last season, in our first playoff matchup ever versus USC, Pat Smith also got hurt, and I
This
still can't
plays
believe
one
that guy
tackle
won the
me,
Heisman
you know.
last year because his stats weren't crazy, but he was the reason we got as far as we did, and we're going to see if he's a system quarterback or if he's really that guy. Is
And
we're
I'm
just
gonna
going to run
hand
the
it
option
off to
pitch it
Nick
to Jeff
Hill.
Shelby, and I think that Jeff Shelby is finally starting to make a real name for himself. The junior wide receiver has had some drop issues in the past, but he just put us up by 4 points, and we are running the ball really well right now.
And
Maurice
watch
Thomas
throw
is
to
trying to
Nick
escape
Hill,
the
but, you know,
pocket. Kyle Patrick is not going
bad
to
throw
make
by
the tackle on time, but at least he was able
Josh
to trip him in, and
Jones.
we just blew that run up. But of course, they were still able to get a positive gain,
And
and we're
off
going
to
to try
Nick
to go
Hill.
deep where Maurice Thomas just sees the
Nick
open
Hill's
space, and I
line up
missed the tackle.
and gets
That guy is
10
hard to bring down. He looks very quick, and there will be a
Nick
quarterback
Hill's
spy
gonna be
out there on
looking
every
through the
play for the
middle.
rest of the game where I think it's going to
Nick
make a
Hill
difference here. This
catches
is
it,
not going very
10
far.
yards.
Alright, this is a huge 3rd and 7 where Maurice Thomas is going to
Look,
just
Nick
step
Hill's gonna
around
be
and
looking deep,
scramble, but he won't
and
reach the marker.
oh
So
my
now it's
gosh,
gonna
it's
be 4th and
oh,
2
you
where
freaking
they're
Josh
going
Jones
to
is looking deep and
unfortunately
he
give us the
catches
I
it
felt
in
like we
the
felt that
end
ball properly,
zone.
but it wasn't in time, and Maurice
And that
Thomas
was
just takes off
clearly out of
instantly
bounds,
where we
but
missed him again. This guy
what
is
they
not
don't
easy
know
to
can't
stop.
hurt him.
We're going to have a quarterback contain out there too. And Grant Sanders drops the pick, which would have been game-changing for us. Now on 2nd and 10, they're trying to run around our defense, but
So
we've got
comment
them to
this
a 3rd and
baby.
6 where our man coverage is not going to stick on their tight end. This is where we need Zach Wilson to step up and have another kick return for a touchdown.
No.
He won the Jet last year, and so far we've been keeping up with the Wolverines. But that fumble from Pat Smith that turned into a touchdown is probably going to haunt us. And
Yeah, I
after
can't make that
taking a
big.
sack there, it would probably be smart to just take it to the half. But we're going to get a couple of good blocks, and I thought John Davis might have been a
And
touchdown.
they're gonna
I don't
kick
know
a
what type
field
of arm
goal.
this kid has, but I'm going to see if he can get us into field goal range. And on the final play of the half, we're just going to throw it up to Zach Wilson.
Gonna be in the end zone. Gotta get every good
return.
return. Come on.
interception. Okay, that's probably not the best ending, but I wanted to give
Please
us a
get us
chance
to the
to
40.
get points before the half because I knew the Wolverines were going to have it to open up this third quarter, and we already know what's coming. We just have to see if we're able to actually stop it, and we're going to see what Maurice Thomas does. Did he just bomb us for a huge gain? I guess he's a 98 overall, but that was one of the best throws I've ever seen the computer make. And now they're approaching our red zone where Matt Small got into the gap, but he wasn't able to bring him down, and they're going to pick up the first. That is why the senior wasn't a starter last season, but now he's one of our best options. And what a hit from Jay Green to bring down Maurice Thomas. Now they're trying to take off. We have a spy out there, but it's just not enough. So on third down, we're going to have Contains out there and a spy. I don't know if I can use everything though when they get it. The issue with having Contains and a spy is we're going to get no pass rush. And here on second and goal, we're getting in there again. So I highly doubt they're going to hand it off, but they did and they scored. Well, we have a lot of work to do with our backup quarterback, who with this quarterback draw is going to be able to run further. We also just got leveled, and I am going to trust that we can hand this off to Josh Hartman here, where that's going to be the face that we have to keep on feeding. And now we find ourselves in a 3rd and 5 where they go with man-to-man coverage, and that comeback route's going to be not caught. I don't know why Wilson didn't put up his hands, but the connection just isn't there yet between our backup quarterback and the sophomore wide receiver. This punt's going to bounce a little too far, or maybe not. It's going to stop inside the 5. Great job from senior Robert Smith to pin them back there, but they're going to get 5, and they are no longer in any danger of taking the safety, which is very unfortunate for us. On 3rd and short, I want to be very aggressive, but we just weren't able to stop them. It didn't pay off. And if you thought things were already bad, they just got much worse. Josh Hartman is now out for the rest of the game with a mild concussion, and I don't get why we have the injury bug in such big games. This was our chance to see how we sized up against the Wolverines, but I feel like we haven't gotten a great read on how good this team could potentially be because of some of the players we've had to play, and that should have been picked. Dan Griffin's a freshman cornerback that we just recruited, so he has a lot of learning to do, and Zach Wilson's going to take this kickoff. Get out of there. That was a good cut, but he still got brought down, and we have 2 freshmen out there in our backfield where we're going to pitch this one to Justin Stevenson, and look at some of those blocks. That option with the triple option to the pitch the wide receiver works out, and we should probably just keep it on the ground because we're competing. But eventually we are going to need to pass, and I think we're going to take this slant where they've already gotten in pressure. How did we pull that off? You know what? John Davis is probably going to be very good in the future with this option run. We're not going to get it though, and I think we have to go for this just because we're so close to reaching the end zone, where I'm very happy with that decision. I think it's all going to come down to whether or not we can stop the run one more time versus Michigan, and I'm trying to guess where they're going with it, but it didn't work out in that situation, and Matt Small couldn't get over to the ball. I thought he was about to pick that one off. The play action made him react a second too late, and Zach Wilson, it is your time to bail us out. If you don't get a good return on this, I highly doubt we're going to score quickly, and those are some good blocks as he's going to take this all the way to midfield, and now I think we're going to feed him with this wide receiver screen underneath where he comes away with the ball. He's going to juke, and now he's off of the field, but with this quarterback run, we're going to move the chains, I think, and John Davis is certainly the future. He's going to go up the seam to tight end Allen Brown, so even with backups, we're moving really well offensively, and Mark Adams is going to get open. We're staying in this game for as long as possible, and I love how much effort everybody's putting in. I feel like we have a real chance here. We just have to make sure that we stack the box, and Michigan passed on this down. We were all expecting the run. This is not going to go for much, so we're going to call a timeout, and here we go. We can get them off the field on 3rd and 8 where we are going to. I cannot believe that we have persevered through all of the injuries in this matchup. Now Zach Wilson is going to take this kickoff return, and he's going to get to midfield again, so we legitimately have a chance, and we're just going to make some smart reads on this drive. 2nd and 4, I want to go to Mark Adams with the corner route, and he got naked. I don't know how he created this much separation, but he is going to go all the way down to the 1, and I kind of wish we could choose some more clock versus the Wolverines here, but since it was there, I had to make sure I took the touchdown, and it's time for our defense to step up one final time. Maurice Thomas has a minute to get them a touchdown, and we're going to sack him, so it is 2nd and long already. With this man coverage, they're going to get like 10 of it back, and maybe we should just get back and sell. It is now 3rd and 7.
Yes, go Josh Jones.
Both of these up to see. He's going to get that ball off in time, and Matt Small doesn't make a play on it. Are you kidding me? I guess his last name is probably Small for a reason, but I thought it was all over there, and now they're going to pick up another first. I'm making sure I keep quarterback spies out there because I don't want them to run for a ton, and after spiking it, it is 3rd and 3. There's only 19 seconds left. This is why I leave a spy out there. Come on, somebody just bring down Maurice Thomas. There is so much pressure on us to step up. I did switch to man coverage, and I really regret it here. Come on, please make the tackle, and there's 1 second left. This is our look. I didn't think they were going to run the ball. We have a lot of zones out there, and we're going to force the stop. What an ending to that game. And we just beat Michigan with our backup running back and quarterback. That was the most stressful result in school history ever, and rivalry matchups are always this good. Assuming we make the playoffs, there's a chance that we see them again, and with that result, we're up to being the number 2 team in the country, but we still have a lot of work to do because winning our division isn't going to be easy, and if we can win another conference championship, championship, we're going to join a bigger conference next season, and we've landed our first 2 commits, getting the punter that we really needed. But at this point in the series, we don't really have any recruiting restrictions because we've worked up from recruiting out of just these 3 states to now being able to go nationwide, and that's because we had so much success last year. So I'm going to scout some of these athletes looking for some more prospects, and let's hope that we have success on the road at Bowling Green. We've already lost 1 game this year on the road at Texas State, but we know being ranked this high, we're going to have a target on our back. So every MAC school is going to give us their best fight, and we're going to open this one up by handing it off to Josh Hartman, who gets a few yards. It's nice having him and Pat Smith back from injury because we can run the option really well with them. But I also have to give credit to John Davis for filling in really nicely versus Michigan. And how did Jay Atkins not get the first? I cannot believe that we are punting already versus Bowling Green. We're going to hopefully get a good bounce on this one, but Wright catches it and goes to midfield. So that was not an ideal start versus the Falcons, and that should be picked off. Matt Small was all over the ball, but it's not going to make a difference. We're just going to hit Bush in the backfield. And I trust our defense to come up clutch here on 3rd and 13, where there's no way that Scott got that. Now we're getting the ball back for drive number 2, where Mark Adams is going to start it with a catch. And I feel like we should be throwing the ball more because Pat Smith has some good receivers that he can hit, but he can also run the rock. And every team is so smart. None of them want to press Zach Wilson, which makes a lot of sense.
I'm pretty sure his last name is Lowry.
Larry, and we're just going to roll out, try and find our wheel route where Mark Adams is not going to get
How the freak are we second in our division?
I think we have the talent to do stuff like that, and especially just experiment versus teams like Bowling Green. But
Oklahoma
we should probably lock in to make sure we pick up this 3rd and 4 with the halfback ankle route to Josh Hartman, who's going to get a lot. Now Jay Atkins is back in the game, so it's a good thing that Pat Smith kept this one. And whenever we try to run the ball, they're all over it, but they're not going to stop Justin Stevenson there, who gets to the 10. And Pat Smith needs to get his first passing touchdown of the season on this drive, if possible. He finds Hartman for 5, but now he's laying on the ground holding his chest. So John Davis is back on the field where he's getting pressured immediately. This is a big 3rd and 11 for the freshman. He stepped up versus Michigan, but he misses this throw, and it's hard to tell who he was even targeting in that situation. I cannot believe that this is another matchup where we might have to rely on our freshman quarterback, but our defense stepped up against Michigan when it mattered, so I'm expecting them to do the same here. And we've been awaiting the news on Pat Smith that just came in where he's out for the game. I don't understand why he's not able to stay healthy, but it means we're going to have to rely on John Davis. And so far, the Falcons have put together a pretty solid drive where Jamal Little takes off for the first down. We cannot continue to let him put together good plays like this on us. They're just going to go to their backup running back again to the 30 now on 2nd and 4. It's another handoff, which we're going to fill the gap up in. But the refs have spotted it as a first down. And I love committing on this play. I cannot let them continue to do this to us. I think we'll be able to hold them if we can get them into some passing down situations, but Green couldn't stick with Richardson. And we just got word that Bowling Green starting running backs out, also with a concussion, so we won't be seeing any of Jeff Bush anymore, and instead they're back up. This is an amazing opportunity to hold them to just a field goal. We need to absolutely trash ball. On the left side of the field. I know we had one there, but he just decided to ignore the Falcons player. And with a few minutes left in the second quarter, we find ourselves trailing by 4 with a backup quarterback.
Let's go, Josh Jones.
He's going to make a good play though, and if he could get a couple more blocks, he's going to be worth it. This is why we have the wide receiver returning kicks. That is going to go to the crib, and he just saved us because we desperately needed that. Our defense didn't get much of a break, so they're probably pretty tired of giving up a 15-yard game. But at least we're back on top, and on this next one, I've bitten down really low, so they're just going to go over to Jason Campbell, who stiff-armed somebody. And I don't understand why we're struggling to tackle so much versus Bowling Green. Against Michigan and Iowa, it made sense, but we are so much better than the Falcons. And I should have known that these sliders would keep us in competitive matchups. So even though we have 2 huge wins, making the playoffs will never be a guarantee. And here on 3rd and 9, all we have to do is make sure that they don't pick this up. We need Williams to make the hit, and that's fine. We're going to call a timeout as well. So that'll give our offense some time to score since they're going to hit this field goal. And what if Zach Wilson got another return? That would honestly be ideal. I'm going to juke to the outside, and he has some good blocks. Will he be able to outrun 52 though? Yes, he can. And he always puts us in great field positioning, but we still have a decent amount of yardage that we're going to have to get on the
Falcons. Make a return.
And we just have to trust that Josh Davis can sling the rock. He's going to have Allen Brown wide open, but he just missed him there, and that is not a great look from the freshman. At least he's going to run this and then kick it last second to Jeff Shelby, who's going to get us all the way to the 25-yard line. And we're going to keep it on the ground for as long as we possibly can.
Come on,
but there's only like 30 seconds left.
He's a better quarterback. Why didn't I stay a quarterback? I should have never went to the draft.
Because we needed to get some players a break, and this throw goes over to Jeff Shelby. Time is ticking fast. There's only about 10 seconds left in the half. They're trying to pressure Davis. Really be able to reach the end zone here. He's going to throw it, and that might.
We're losing at Oklahoma.
Our goal is for him to make a quick read with about 3 seconds left, and that is going to be knocked down. Wait, I think I just made a really dumb move, and we're going to keep Hartman in, but I didn't realize that was 4th down, so Bowling Green gets the ball back to end the half. We can't even kick a field goal. I thought we still had time. All my focus was on the clock, but we didn't have another down, and that's one of the dumbest mistakes I think I have ever made while playing NCAA football. The fans are not going to be happy with Andrew Luck for that one, and now Bowling Green just got the perfect blocks that they need. Matt Small, you're you're going to have to knock out 26. And it is crazy that we are in a competitive
Come on,
matchup
catch
with
it.
the Falcons right now, but they're going to pick this one up to Butler.
Let's go.
And I wish we could generate some pressure on the Falcons, which we kind of did there, making this a 3rd and inches, but they got the right blocks again. And you can tell that they're just going to run the ball for as long as possible, but they're going to pick this one up to their tight end. And we are really on upset alert right now. This is not good. We can't stop their running. We can't stop their passing. And if it wasn't for Zach Wilson's kickoff return, we'd only have 3 points, but it looks like he's going to get multiple good blocks on this one. And could he get another one? I think the wide receiver is gone for his 2nd. What a play. He is continuing to keep us in this game. He definitely deserves to be in the Heisman race at this rate, but their backup running back's better than their starter. And Jason Campbell is making a name for himself against our defenses. He's going to pick up another 7. After this game, I think we're going to switch up our defensive formation to the 3-3-5 because I want to have a better chance at stopping the run, and we always do out of that. But the fact that we just held them there is a big deal, and Zach Wilson's going to have a chance to return this one as well, but he doesn't catch it. And we're just lucky that this drive is starting at the 20-yard line where Davis makes a guy miss, but he stumbled over. He would have been gone. This next play has a design quarterback rollout, and he is going to just take his corner route over to Jeff Shelby where he brings it in. But there was no chance of rolling out there, and he's going to keep it on this one for a few more. I got to say, the freshman fits right in with our offense, replacing Pat Smith really well. He's done a solid job whenever he's in, but he's still going to have to wait his time the rest of the year, assuming that Pat Smith can stay healthy. And then I'd assume that the former Heisman winner would declare for the NFL draft. But we'll see what happens because he has been struggling to stay on the field, and that is a bad read to the flat. That is the first one that I was worried about. The one time that I take it, they are all over the ball, and we force a fumble. Thank you, please pick it up. And we're not getting bailed out. This is by far the worst I have ever played offensively. But freshman Luke Anderson gets the sack in the 3rd quarter, and everybody in the stadium knows that they're probably handing this ball off, but they went with the play action. So they've set themselves up with a 3rd manageable where that route did get open.
Oh my gosh, why did I throw it up to the one-on-one?
It is not looking good for your Mastodons right now, and these play actions are killing us. They just shook multiple defenders, and we're not going to make the tackle with Williams. It's over. I feel like we're not going to go undefeated this season if we cannot stay healthy. Come on, Wilson, please, just get your 3rd kickoff return of the game. Why not? We could really use it. Our last drive didn't even end because we're using a freshman quarterback. It's because I'm no good at this game, but Jeff Shelby comes away with the ball, and look at this drive he's taken. It is not pretty, but we are staying in this one. And on 1st and 10, Little is going to drop back and have way too much time to get that ball out as Hampton gets 9. I'm going to start sending like 5 players in his direction, and he missed that throw. So it is 3rd and 1 where I've decided to run commit, and that should have paid off, but we hit him to the outside, and Jason Campbell gets the 1st down. Come on, Grand Rapids. We cannot lose on the road like this. I know we're kind of short with our backup again, but that didn't stop us from beating Michigan. So it's going to hold us back against Bowling Green either, and look at that route. They have 19 first downs to our 9, and Hill just got toasted again by Butler going to the 7. So right now they honestly deserve to take us down. They have played a better match, but we are going to hold them here. And my hope is they just try to pass because we can be all over all of that. There's a lot of zones out there on the field, and please just get the interception here. That is what we needed. I think we're going to try to return it out with King, and he's going to shed a tackle. So it's nice to see Danny King stepping up and making a huge play. And he's our backup free safety behind Matt Small because Daugherty had such a bad offseason. We probably should have just taken a knee with him, but the adrenaline was pumping. We're still going to get to the 20. And all we have to do is go down, get in field goal range, and win this thing. I have no idea where that defender came from, but Jeff Shelby's going to get open, and he does not hang on. 3rd and 9 now. I think Jay Atkins is going to get wide open, so we're going to take it to him. Look at the freshman go, and he just fumbled it back to the Falcons. You're kidding me. I thought we were about to just drive down the field and get the easy win against them, but no. Instead, we fumbled it, and they're starting to chew the clock, but we forced a fumble back. And how did we not pick that up? I sure hope that they are not in field goal range. On 3rd and 6, Matt Small is going to have to cover deep, and they have somebody open in the end zone. But Mark Kilpatrick comes away with the sack, and we're going to have to take a timeout because they were running down the clock before attempting a 55-yarder, and no way. Their kicker actually had the leg for it, but he wasn't accurate, and look who is getting open. It is Zach Wilson. He's going to catch this ball, reel it in, and I'm going to just fall down inside the 10-yard line, I think. I would rather just settle for a field goal than give Bowling Green a chance in this game. And this is a kick that Aaron Adams could hit with his eyes closed, so we have survived against the Falcons, and that was super close, but Zach Wilson went off. And next week we will have Pat Smith back, which helps because offensively everything looked really rough today. To make things even better, we have a bye, so players have a chance to rest. And coming out on the other side of it, we've actually fallen in the rankings, but that's bound to happen because we play in a weaker conference. And Northern Illinois is the only team that's beaten the Nittany Lions, so I'm a little worried about this matchup versus them, but either way, we're going to have to be on top of things because a lot of players are going to visit for it. The last thing I'll mention is we picked up 2 defensive backs in Jameel McCauley and Luke Simmons, who we're going to have to move over. So we're making progress, but we need to rack up a ton of sacks. It's going to be a night game at Hulu Field, and I just hope that Pat Smith can stay healthy in this one because John Davis has shown some good flashes.
If anybody can do it,
successful in the future, but at the same time, he's also going to struggle. He's young, and this season needs to go well. Look at Zach Wilson. There is no way that this kid is about to get his 4th kick return of the season. We are
Clutch.
like 3 or 4 games into the year. He already won the Jet last year. He's definitely getting it this season. And I cannot believe he just took another one to the house. I should also mention another Mac school just lost. And everything is setting up for us to have success this year. Moore is trying to scramble on his first play. But we have faced Lamar Moore before when he was the backup, and it turns out that he's now the starting quarterback. This is our chance to get the Huskies off of the field, and it's going to be a halfback draw. I should have seen that coming, but it's still really early on, so it doesn't matter that much, and they're going to get another 8. Our run defense just does not exist, and we are not going to make the tackle here. I missed with Stevens, so Olsen takes it to the house. And I refuse to believe that Zach Wilson could potentially come away with another kick return, but if we get some good blocks, I guess it's a potential thing, and I just tripped up over that lineman. I think that would have been another one, and now we have to actually run our offense, where that one went nowhere, but this one with Josh Hartman gets us like 6. It is a 3rd and manageable for Pat Smith, where nothing got open, so he's just going to have to try throw something, and that was not meant to go to Walters at all. I am glad that that inaccurate throw panned out for us, because it could have also gone terribly. Look at the freshman getting loose. He fumbled in his last game. Hopefully he doesn't do that here, and he might be able to reach it to the end zone. Jay Atkins just had the play of his career so far, and every time we play the Huskies, we know that it's probably going to turn into a shootout, and it's going to stay that way if we can't figure out how to stop their rushing attack where they go for even more. It's like they're getting 7 or 8 yards a carry. Hughes has a chance to make a difference, though, and that's a great tackle from a sophomore, who's actually our backup middle linebacker because he's slower than Kyle Patrick, and what a play to hit them in the backfield. That is exactly what we needed there, and they're going to punt it to Zach Wilson. They're not even trying to pin it out of bounds, which is going to be trouble for their team. Do you think that you can stop one of the best returners of all time in college football? Look at that. I think he single-handedly gives us our best chance at winning a championship, and he was pretty solid last year, but he was nowhere near the level of returner he is now. What is that throw from Pat Smith? I cannot believe how inaccurate it was, but we have to trust our former Heisman winner to just step up and make a throw. So that's what he did right there, making up for his mistake, and then Wilson catches this one. Zach Wilson has scored his 2nd touchdown of the day, and it is about time that we step things up defensively where our coverage clamped up, so all their quarterback could do was try to run. We've had a solid first quarter, especially in comparison to the Bowling Green game, but we still have a ton of work to do, and I don't love that we're giving up that many rushing yards, but we're going to get over to Williams with Matt Small, so as of right now, we'll make more of his pass for negative yards, and I'm almost certain that if we can stop the rushing attack, then they're going to have a hard time getting a lot of points on us today. With sophomore Jared Snyder getting the sack, he's another new face on our defense, and the entire linebacker core that we're starting is all sophomores. Zach Wilson is going to get a couple of good blocks there, and look at this. He is going, and he just has to be one more guy as he's going to score another touchdown. I have never seen anything like this in NCAA football, but we have the best player in the country, and it is literally Tyreek Hill Jr. that's just running around doing everything for us, but they're about to pick up a big game themselves as nobody's able to keep up with 84. It is crazy how good some of the blocks on these returns have been as well, but Lamar Moore just took off for a big touchdown, and they have twice as many total yards of offense as us, but we have twice as many points. Zach Wilson takes this one, and there's just no way. This is unfair at this point. He's going to have another touchdown, and I think we might need to fix some sliders or something. I think our team overall is just too good compared to their backups because we're literally getting pancakes versus every guy trying to stop us, and there's no sliders preventing returns like that from happening every time. Even
oh my gosh, he went down.
But I guess we have built a really good program, and after this game, I'm going to take a look at them because I don't want the rest of the season to be unfun where we don't even step on offense because we're literally able to just run around everybody with our fast returner and maybe get another touchdown with Zach Wilson. Like we have done absolutely nothing offensively, but we have a 21-point lead, and
sometimes
we're
I
about to
don't.
make it even more with Pat Smith as
Oh
he
my
takes
gosh,
this
Josh!
handoff, and he is
Oh
getting
my
all the
gosh,
blocks
you
that he
got
needs. This is the level of
pancake, my
domination
boy.
that I was expecting versus Bowling Green, but it didn't happen until this game, and Lamar Moore is scrambling for a big one. But it already feels like this one's over
Let's go,
anyway.
let's go, let's
Can
go.
we get a stop, please? Why are we giving up so many large games? My biggest concern with this series is making sure that things always stay very balanced, so that's what I'm worried about. But at the same time, we could just be playing really well, and it's a fluke, so I can't really tell. We're going to see if they get any route bounces here, and more, you're not going anywhere. This is about to be our quickest game of the season, assuming that we're able to hold on 3rd and 8. Maybe they get a couple route bounces.
I'm going to stop him for 44
closer
seconds.
to reaching the end zone, getting it back within 21 points. But they're taking time out, so it's like they want us to also have a chance to score. And that was a great tackle, setting up a 3rd and goal where they pass it, and they're going to catch it. Well, Zach Wilson, here you go. You have another chance at getting a kickoff return. Is it going to be possible?
Come on,
this
give
is
us
just
a good
almost
return.
ridiculous at this point. Like, I have got to fix something something before the rest of this series continues. I don't know
Oh
what
my
to
gosh,
change
that's my
because
longest
Juan has
return.
one already. And then obviously there's these sliders, but nothing that has to do with returns.
Why are we going short?
Thing we could do is probably turn the clipping penalty back up to something like
Let's go,
60,
Nico.
because the numbers that we're starting to put up with returns are
I'm
just
probably
very
wasting my
unrealistic. And I'm so glad that we're having this much success. But I'd also like our offense to have to touch the field at some point and look at Lamar Moore going for another 15 or 20. It's being brought back though, and it's a clipping penalty. That might not be the best of solutions, and it's something that we have changed in this series before because they got out of hand. This could be picked off though, and look at that. Michael Hill comes to the ball. I can guarantee that after this drive, we're just going to put in all of our backups, seeing what they can do, get them some experience, because Pat Smith's going to take this one to the grid easily. And this is why we need to win the MAC conference, because some of these opponents are just way too easy for a program of our caliber at this point in the dynasty. They're getting another 20. What is happening? Like on one side of the ball, we're dominating, but on the other, we're still struggling to tackle them and stop them. So I really don't know what to think about this team.
Let's go.
Going, Lamar Moore. Do you do anything else? I'm about to send a blitz in his direction
Taking
every
off
play
for,
and
like,
see how he
the
reacts,
one.
and that's when he turns into Tom Brady. He didn't even get concerned for a second. He just dropped back and made a play. But that hit had a lot of frustration behind it. And you can tell that our defense is so sick of having to stop him. Stewart's in the game. We actually hurt their starter. And Northern Illinois should just give up at this point. They don't stand a chance in winning this one. And I think our backups are going to be just as good. I promise that I will play at least one drive with them. But for the very first time in the series, I don't think it'll make sense to show every last play because we've just been doing so well. And this one's already been over for at least a quarter. Mark Adams comes away with it. And for whatever reason, we have not seen much of him ever since he had that good performance in the Michigan game. But I'm pretty sure he's only a sophomore or a junior, so he's still young, and there's still next season. Jones gets this one. And we're just spreading around the ball to everybody while our backup quarterback looks better than ever as he's going to run, and he is definitely the future after Pat Smith leaves. John Davis is going to be the name of the future here at Grand Rapids. He can pretty much do it all. He is even quicker. And in the end, we're going to win 70-31. So this was just a blowout. If you all are that upset at me for skipping the fourth quarter, I'll show it in the future. But there really wasn't that much to see. And that stat line from Zach Wilson is just broken. I might even take him off of the return team just so the entire season isn't that dumb. And commits are continuing to flood into our school while we're still able to upgrade our head coach. And this one might tell us what plays our future opponents are calling. At the top of our division, it's still us, Eastern Michigan, and Central Michigan, who's up on the schedule next, but they lost to Coastal Carolina. And why is Zach Wilson not up here in the Heisman race? We just won by 40 and dropped another spot in the rankings. So we still have a lot to prove, but at least he won player of the week.
First try.
It's that time of the year again, though, as it's the Michigan MAC rivalry, and the first game is always between Western and Eastern. And the Eagles ended up winning in overtime by 3, so they've stayed undefeated this season, and now it's our turn to take on Central Michigan. Before we hop into it, I do want to change our defense to a 3-3-5, though, and I'm going to see if making Jordan Williams our kick returner changes anything, but that might be a mistake because they have the #1 offense, and I swear that they always have a high overall quarterback. At least we get to play this one at home at night, and our stadium looks so much better with all these stands now, where we're starting on defense, and they're just going to go with the quarterback run up the middle. They're the highest overall team in the MAC besides us, so I'm expecting them to play very well, and I love running this 3-3-5 to give us our best chance of stopping the run, but I have no idea how it'll do versus the pass, and I'd assume we're about to find out, but they've just run the ball on 3rd and long. Well, from what we just saw, I gotta say, our defense looks a lot better out of that formation, and on this return, Jordan Williams does have speed, not like Zach Wilson, but he's still able to get a good one, and I don't think it matters. Whoever we have in there, they're going to do very well. And maybe what I'll do is only return kicks whenever we play against big schools. We will see how the season plays out and what type of decision I make. We're just going to dump this one off to Josh Hartman. And on 3rd and 1, we're going to keep it with Pat Smith as he is going to get the yardage. I thought he might not there, but he's still going for more. That cut to the inside literally changed
I need some
everything.
blocks, guys.
And they sent in a blitz where Pat Smith is trying to evade the pressure, but he's out of stamina. He's going to go down. So that's why we try to keep things on the ground, but that's not working either. And here on 3rd and 12, we need to make sure that we at least get a field goal out of this drive, but that's just going to go incomplete. We're about to find out if Aaron Adams has the leg for this, but he's kicking into 11-mile-per-hour winds, so that makes sense. And it's going to remain all tied up at 0, but I trust our defense to hold them, and I just missed the tackle there, so they're going to get the first. This team is so solid, but the expectations also puts a lot of pressure on us. And I feel like if we can't stay undefeated, everybody's just going to be disappointed. Joe Washington again gets open, and you could see that happening from a mile away, but there's only so much we can do about it. Come on, Grant Sanders. Oh gosh, we just got swerved out by their running back for a lot. It is so hard to capitalize on those open field tackles, and now Rogers finds that zone. So we're trailing, but there's still plenty of time left, and Josh Hartman gets a couple. Not using Zach Wilson to put us in fantastic field position definitely hurts, but Jeff Shelby gets open on the corner route. There's not a defender in sight, and he is going to be gone to the house. That's a 70-yard touchdown for the junior who actually held onto the ball, and he's been having such a good season that I can't even make fun of him anymore. We definitely needed it to end the first quarter, because now Central has the ball again, and this is a run up the middle for 6. We're trying to send in a blitz on 3rd and 4, though. We're going to see if we can get pressure in time. I see multiple players open. He was out of bounds, though. And the refs are going to throw the flag for illegal touching. I'll take getting the stop there all day. And Jordan Williams doesn't have that much time back here, as he's not going to get around everybody, or he will. Look at this. Our returns are still so good. I will say, if it was Zach Wilson in the game, we probably would have gotten even more. And that's why he's simply over there on the right side of the field where he is open, and he's going to reel this one in. We shouldn't even need to use our greatest weapon to beat any teams unless we're facing off against big schools, because the roster that we have built around him is amazing. And Pat Smith breaks that tackle to pitch it to Josh Hartman, but that's not for much. So we still need to convert on 3rd and inches, and that's what he does. Just a few minutes left in the second quarter. Now we're going to keep it and then pitch it last second. Jeff Shelby could get another touchdown, but
come on, we're freaking rookies on this
one. With some zone coverage, but we get sacked. Well, now it is 3rd and long. It's just man-to-man coverage, and we're going to go over to Wilson, but they were all over him. So unfortunately, we're going to have to settle for a field goal. And maybe the Northern Illinois game was a fluke, because we did whatever we wanted versus them, but that's not been the case versus Central Michigan. They just broke multiple tackles, and we have got to step things up. I'm going back to putting in our greatest weapon as a kick returner, and I refuse to lose to our rivals. They've beaten us too many times before, and we cannot let them ruin our hopes of joining a better conference next year. Here on 3rd and 13, they are passing, but I don't think they're going to be able to pick this up. We need Sanders to make the tackle in time, and he doesn't. I don't understand why we were even in cover 2 if you're not going to have any player there, but our guys are not playing the zones that we're expecting them to before the snap, and we're giving up more yardage. This is probably one of those teams that we don't need to waste one of our players being in a quarterback spy against, so I'll stop putting that onto the field. And hopefully that will make a difference. This wide receiver screen is going to get picked off by Grant Sanders, and what a play from the sophomore. He's going to break that tackle. Get out of his way. That should have been a touchdown. But we still have about 45 seconds to reach the end zone, and they tried to send a blitz, which is not a good idea. Jeff Shelby fumbles it to Wilson, though, and that's a little concerning. But he picked it up, so we're all good. And again, they're sending in a blitz. I don't know why they think that's going to work.
Just need
the
9 more
yards. The easier that they're making this drive for us, and Mark Adams is going to reel it in. So it took us 3 plays to reach the end.
Wait, our best receiver's injured?
Taking things to the half, which was a really solid one for us. I'm happy with it because we also get ball to start the 3rd quarter. And their kicker
throw that thing up. You're catching that.
We just booted it out of the back of the end zone, and we continue to
break a
pass on
tackle.
them, but since we believe like this, we're probably better off just running the football instead. And it's kind of weird that we're not coming back in all these games anymore, but we actually just have to hold on to our lead. And dive into it. And also test things out as we're fitting it into that tight end. But Jeff Shelby was never going to get open there. Let's just spun that defender out. He needs to get around this end, and what a play from our quarterback. As of right now, I honestly think we can do whatever we want. And with a halfback swing pass over to John Hartman, he was going to reel this one in and then move the chains for us. All we need is a touchdown on this drive to really put away Central Michigan. Then they're going to be in a lot of trouble, and Jay Adkins is trying to outrun people, but the freshman looks like he's been training with Eddie Lacy, and Mark Adams catches this one to get us to the 1. Now it's on Josh Hartman to simply put it away, and that interception to end the first half from Grant Sanders really changed everything. They were so close to scoring and taking the lead on us, but instead we got it, and now we find ourselves up by 17, so it's crazy how quickly things can change, and I should have forced a fumble there. As we go. Pick it up. Thank you. I don't know why their quarterback thought he could pitch it, but again, our defense has stepped up, and do they really think that they can keep up with tight end Allen Brown? I literally celebrated before it even reached the end zone because I knew it would be a good throw, and we just put up 21 points in the matter of like 2 in-game minutes. This is crazy, and that should have been picked off as well. I love how quickly that we're able to take control of things, and maybe we can get another defensive stop, but they're kind of lasering our zone coverage right now, so we've switched over to man, and they still have somebody open. I think that's always going to be the case.
Well, guys, I'm about to play with my friend. So, deuces, peace, get out of here, like, leave, like,